Kitchen Wellness Secrets.
Why your honey is a chemical trap. Archaeologists opened tombs in Egypt that had been sealed for thousands of years, and inside, they found pots of honey. The crazy part? It was still perfectly edible. No mold, no rot, just honey.
Welcome to Kitchen Wellness Secrets.
I mean, if I leave strawberries on the counter for 2 days, they get fuzzy. How does honey fight off every single bacteria for 3 millennia?
It is impressive. Basically, a jar of honey is a biological death trap for bacteria. It uses 2 completely different weapons to stay sterile. The first is simply mechanics. Honey has extremely low water content and very high sugar. In chemistry, this creates massive osmotic pressure.
Osmotic pressure. I remember failing that test in phase school. What does that actually look like in the jar?
Think of honey as a microscopic sponge that is incredibly thirsty. If a bacterium lands in your honey jar, it is surrounded by sugar that wants water more than the bacterium does. The honey literally sucks the moisture out of the bacterial cells until they collapse and die. They get dehydrated to death instantly.
Ugh, that is vivid. So it's just too dry for anything to live in there. But people put honey on cuts or sore throats, right? That's wet. Wouldn't that ruin the sponge effect?
That is where the second, much more sophisticated weapon comes in. And this is the part that makes bees absolute geniuses. When bees make honey, they regurgitate nectar.
You mean they spit it up?
Technically, yes, but in that process, they add an enzyme called glucose oxidase. Usually, this enzyme sits there doing nothing. It is dormant. But the moment you dilute honey with water, like when you swallow it for a sore throat or put it on a weeping wound, that enzyme wakes up.
So adding water flips a switch.
Exactly. When that enzyme mixes with water, it breaks down the sugar and produces a byproduct you probably have in your medicine cabinet, hydrogen peroxide.
Wait, the stuff I put on scrapes?
The very same. But in honey, it is a slow-release version. It gently kills bacteria without damaging your skin tissue. So your jar of honey is basically a dormant chemical reaction waiting for water to turn it into an antiseptic.
That is wild. I'll never look at my tea the same way. Speaking of tea, usually I just dump a spoonful into boiling water.
Which is the one thing you should not do if you want the health benefits. Heat destroys enzymes. If you drop raw honey into boiling tea, you kill the glucose oxidase. You get the sweetness, but you lose the hydrogen peroxide factory.
Okay, noted. So what's the protocol?
If you are sick, take it straight off the spoon. The moisture in your mouth activates the antibacterial barrier right where you need it. If you must put it in tea, wait until the water is warm, not boiling, drinkable temperature. Keep the enzyme alive, and it will do the work for you.
Ignite your muse with drops of inspiration. Search Musedrops.